Hello and welcome to my channel On the Hook Crochet with Jeannie, where we talk about wearable crochet style. And let's see what's been on the hook. I have created a sweater for my viewers and my subscribers that's very easy to make, and I wanted to bring it to you today because I finally got an Etsy shop, and this is out there as a pattern on my Etsy shop, so you can go out there and check it out. And I will say this, if you want to go out and look at my Etsy shop, or want to buy one of the patterns out there, you can go to the link in the description box, and in the description box it'll take you to a screen where you put in your email, your first name, and your birth date. That is not the year, but the month and the day. And this way I can send you something special on your birthday, and I'll keep a record of that and send it to you on your birthday or in your birthday month, I don't know which. And also that'll give you a discount of 20% on anything you buy in my store. So you can go right out there and use that discount code to purchase anything you want if you want to purchase a pattern. So wanted to bring that to my viewers and my subscribers. And if you want to be in my email database, then just go down and you can sign up there. You don't have to go to the Etsy shop, but I invite you to look around. There's not a whole lot out there yet, but there will be. Now, this is my new sweater. It's called the Foxy Boxy Sweater, and I have the pattern all ready to go. It's out there, and what I've done with the pattern is I've made it very easy to read, like I did my first two. I have fill in the blank areas that you can fill in the number of chains that you do, the number of skeins you needed, the hook sizes that you use. It's very important. When you go back to make it again, you'll have all your measurements, your hook sizes, everything will be there. And if you need to change the yarn, you can adjust your hook sizes, of course, but at least you'll know how you made it the first time. You won't be wondering, well, did I do a half double crochet row there, or did I do a single crochet the row there? So be sure to write it down on your pattern, and then you'll have it for next time. I've also put photos out here to show you how to mark the fabric so that you can make sure that the neck is even, that you balance the back and the front, where the underarm goes. All that is in the pattern, and I put plenty of pictures in here so you can see it. It's 9 pages long. I suggest that you print it and you keep it, staple it together, write on it, and then I suggest also that you read it from front to back before you start. That way you'll know where you're going and how you're going to get there. So it's always good to read a pattern, every word of the pattern, before you ever make the first stitch. That's my suggestion. So on this particular sweater, and I think I may have shown you this a little while ago, but I used the Lion Brand jeans yarn in colors. This is the colorway Corduroy. It's almost purple. It's kind of a purpley color, and it's hard to describe, really. It's not really as purple as it shows on the camera, but it's kind of a brown purple. Maybe that's the description. It's like a brown purple. But this sweater is done with Lion Brand, and the hook sizes that I used for this particular yarn were the MN to chain up. That means that's the largest hook that you would use, the MN. And then I used an L hook, which is an 8.0 to do the fabric, to crochet the fabric. And then I used a K hook, which is a 6.5 millimeter to do the neck trim and the sleeves. So those are the size hooks I used. You may not use these hooks. It depends on the weight of your yarn. And if you make a swatch, which I suggest that you do, you don't have to, but it's good to make a swatch, maybe chain up 10, go back and forth with double crochet or whatever stitch you want, and see if you can see through it, if you like the feel of it, or if it's thin enough, thick enough, however you want it to look. Now, what I did was I chained up, and I decided to use a different stitch on this. I did not use a double crochet. I used a variation of a double crochet, which I've known for a long time. But these stitches fit together a little bit better. Instead of a double crochet, you know how they are. They're like posts, and the double crochet, and then there's a little space, and a double crochet and a little space. And this particular stitch fills in that gap just a little bit more so that it's not as see-through. So I invite you to try that. You can certainly use just a plain double crochet if you want to, but this new stitch will be one that you can put in your stitch list, and you can pull it out and use it anytime you want to use it on a sweater. So I invite you to try that. The sleeves also are made into the fabric. They're made into the fabric, so there's no sleeves to attach at the end. So once you finish the front and the back, you're basically done. You sew it up, and then you do the neck trim and sleeve trim and bottom trim if you want it. It's totally optional, of course. The neck trim, I don't think should be optional. I think you should put a neck trim on it so that it will tighten up the neck and the neck won't stretch, because you're just at the edges of the rows here. So you definitely want to tighten that up with a smaller hook and some rows going in the opposite direction. So I always suggest to do that. But it's totally optional on sleeves and on the bottom as well. So I really like this. I'm wearing it with blue jeans. It's very comfortable. I'm actually wearing a black tank top underneath it. You may not need a tank top under yours. I tried it on last night, or actually this morning, and I didn't really like the way you could see through it. You can kind of see that on the sleeve there. It's a little bit too see-through for me. If you used a smaller hook on the fabric, I believe you could take care of that. I really do. I don't think it would cost you that much more in yarn to make it that way. I used 2.5 skeins of this. There's plenty of this left. In fact, maybe more than a half of a skein left. And so it just doesn't take that much fabric to do, because it's very efficient. The pattern doesn't have a lot of extra fabric in it. So what I'm doing is I'm going to try the sweater again, and I'm going to make it out of a busier yarn. And this is the Tweedy yarn, T-W-E-E-D-Y yarn that I used for a window pane sweater that I was making for summer. And I just really fell out of love with it. I didn't like it that much. And I didn't frog it. It's still over here, but I started a new skein of Tweedy, and I chained up, and I really like it. It is a little bit prettier actually, because it's done in a smaller stitch. The other garment I was making was in treble crochet and skip one treble crochet, so it was, you know, big squares and of empty squares. I just really didn't like it after I started making it. I just couldn't get into it. So I'm probably going to frog that out, but I do like the way this looks. This is a very busy yarn. It is multicolored, but the colors aren't stripy or anything. They're just kind of mixed in. There's some green and blue and white. And it's a tweed yarn, so that there are two pieces of yarn twisted together, and one is white and the other is the color. So if you'll see that, there's white all the way through it, because one strand is white and the other strand is the color. So they are twisted together, which makes it a tweed yarn. And I really like this one. I really do. I think I'm going to like this sweater. So I'm going to make this in the Foxy Boxy pattern, and I'll probably maybe make the sleeves longer or something if I have enough yarn. I have quite a bit of yarn like this, so I think I might try that actually. So I just wanted to hop on here today and tell you about the new pattern, and I did get it done. So I'm excited. I'm glad to be able to present patterns to you that are easy to make and that are designable by you and that will fit you, because they are measured to fit you. That's the whole reason that I'm designing these patterns, is so that you can make them fit you. And I have seen some beautiful pictures of ladies that have made my patterns, and they look great, and they fit everybody. So it's really exciting for me to see that that we are not held hostage by the number of chains, the number of half inches, all of these measurements that somehow don't fit everybody, and that's pretty logical that they don't. So I'm trying something new. I hope y'all like it. I did it for my viewers and my subscribers. So I hope you'll join me next time to find out what's on the hook.